Welcome to Let's Talk Chiropractic. I'm Dr. Alex, your host, here with Breena Coxe. Breena, give us a little introduction to who you are.
I'm 24 years old and I'm a 911 dispatcher.
Sounds fun. Yep. All right. Tune in. It'll be a good show. We had a complicated case with her neck that now she sees care for on a maintenance. So tune in soon. We'll be talking about Breena Coxe. Welcome back to Let's Talk Chiropractic. I'm Dr. Alex, your host with Breena Coxe. So, Breena, let's introduce why you came in the first place. Like, what was going on? How long ago was it? Do you remember?
Maybe in 2021 is when
2 years?
I think that's when I first came in, when I first met you. I've always come here even before you worked here.
For Dr. Stacy or Dr. John?
For Dr. Stacy.
Okay, so a long time, like your whole life, or?
Since probably middle school.
Hey, whoa.
Yeah, I've been coming a lot.
Okay, and how old are you again?
24.
So 24 from middle school, so that was like 12 years or so?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And Dr. Stacy the whole time till me?
Yeah. Wow. I think I might have had Dr. John once.
Okay.
When Stacy wasn't available, but.
Right, but Stacy preferably. I got you. Yeah, Stacy was great. Dr. Stacy was great. So, why were you coming to see Dr. Stacy in the beginning? Do you remember?
I just always had neck problems.
Neck problems?
Yeah.
Okay, and that will lead into why you saw me. Was it similar to why you saw me, where it was real stiff and you couldn't move it?
No, it was never that bad.
Okay, so that was new.
Yeah.
Okay, and when Dr. Stacy left, was there a long period where you stopped seeing the chiropractor?
Yes.
Okay, and that's common. Mm-hmm. We don't like that. There will come a time when I leave this practice. And my biggest goal is that nobody stops seeing the chiropractor. Mm-hmm. You don't have to follow me, just don't lose your chiropractor, right? Because then look what happened to you. You fell apart. Mm-hmm. So you're seeing Dr. Stacy like on a monthly basis? What?
It was just like as needed for the most part.
And was it not that often?
Just
a couple times a year or what?
It might have been like a couple times a year.
So maybe like every 3 months or something?
Yeah.
And for younger people, that's pretty common. You know, if you're in middle school, high school, your body does most of the work. The chiropractor shouldn't be needed and wasn't. Okay. And then something changed. Dr. Stacy left and you hadn't been in for a while. And then your neck got really bad. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's go back to that first day. You know, I see it fresh in my brain. You come in. And you've got this same kind of smile on, but there was a tinge of pain. Yeah, what was going on?
It was like my muscle on the side of my neck was super tight and I couldn't turn my head and it hurt really bad. Yeah,
she cried a little bit, I'll be honest. It was bad, but she was great. Usually when I see a young woman, it's usually the woman who this is called pseudotorticollis. Pseudo means fake, torticollis is what happens when a baby gets wry neck. The muscle gets so cramped up and locked. In babies, it's because of a cranial nerve. But for adults, it's not, so we call it pseudo-torticollis. It's fake wry neck, basically. So hers, I believe, was the scalene. Attaches to the front of the spine and comes down to the ribs. With that sort of pain, yeah, the young ladies are usually crying. They are begging me for relief. They've tried everything, you know, besides slamming their head in the microwave at that point. And it had been a little while, a couple of days, right? If I remember.
Yeah, it lasted for a couple of days.
So you put up with it, you mean, for a couple of days before you came in?
I actually think it happened for like one day before I realized how bad it was, and then I
day 2 you
was calling around trying to get into any chiropractor because I knew Stacy left.
Yeah.
So I didn't know like if I was supposed to still come back here. But then I called here, and then they made me an appointment with you. So
okay. And then we took you in, and it was pretty bad. Mm-hmm. I was able to get the adjustment right.
Yeah.
First time it was able to go. And then, did it calm down right away, or did it take a little bit?
It took a little bit, and I had to put ice on it a lot. I remember you also put on, like, sticky pads that had, like,
Oh,
I
we
think the
zapped it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a good one. Yes, it was. Yeah. So the electrical stim, sticky pads that zap ya. Sounds like torture. It's not torture though. The electricity makes the muscle on a really small level, the micro level. It makes it use all its energy, and then when it's tuckered out, just like a toddler, it goes loose. It tires out and stops doing its thing. So then the muscle's able to relax. And did I adjust you before or after? I can't remember now.
I can't remember either.
Usually I do it after that. So if I find a neck, I'm feeling the neck and I go, ooh, this is a bad one. Then I can put them on the stem, which is what it seems like I did. And then after about 20 minutes, it should be exhausted and looser. It'll still hurt because it's like a strained muscle at that point. It's been so tight. And behind all the scenes, why is it so tight in the first place? Well, first off, girls have less muscle mass on their neck. And you could just look at it. She has a dainty neck, right? So it's not a bad thing at all. It's a normal. But that neck, the muscle has to work harder to fix when the vertebrae is off. So the spine gets misaligned. Your body's first response is to, I'm going to fix that myself. All these muscles attached to your neck, yanking on it. And if it can't do it, it has two choices. It can give up and let it be stuck, which it won't do. It'll just keep trying harder and harder and harder until you were like you were. You couldn't even turn to the left, I think. You could turn one way, but not the other.
I can't remember which way it was.
It was one way or the other, but whatever way. Let's say the left for, so the demonstration makes any sense. And you can't turn to the left. Okay. Once we zap it, though, it's strained, and we can adjust it. So once I adjust it, it still hurts, and it might even still be a little bit spazzy. And as long as I did my job right, which sometimes it takes 2 tries. I know I saw you a couple times, but I think it was pretty good after the first one. And then the muscle will realize, the body will send the signal, say, hey, it's fixed, you can calm down now. And as soon as it realizes and listens, it will calm down. And then all you have to do is heal. And it takes about 2 weeks for the pain to go completely away. And after the pain is gone, then maybe a couple more visits to make sure everything's good, but right, it was probably like 4 or 5 visits. And then what have you been doing? Once a month or so?
Yeah,
Since
recently.
Then? Yeah, recently, because there was another gap. I'm noticing a pattern. All right. So that was the first case. We had her long history with Stacy, a big gap, neck goes awry. That's a pun, it's intended. And she has to come back in. We zap it to submission so it calms down, adjust it, and now she's on maintenance. So we're going to talk about the next page. What happens after that? It's more preventative maintenance. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a little bit. Commercial break. Welcome back to Let's Talk Chiropractic. I'm Dr. Alex, your host, here with Breena. So, Breena, during the commercial break, a little something came out. I kind of want to rehash it a little bit and go more into it because it's kind of neat. It's a unique thing about you. So, when you first came in to see Stacy, you said you passed out. Tell me about that.
I started coming in to see Stacy because when I was younger, I did pass out. I ended up hitting my head off of a counter and rolling underneath the counter.
How old? Was that in the middle school or?
In 6th grade.
Okay, so in
So
6th
I ended
grade.
up spraining my neck.
6th grade. You sprained your neck?
Yeah.
Okay. From passing out and hitting your head?
From the way I landed, or maybe even from hitting my head off the counter. But I had to wear a neck brace to school.
How long? Oh my gosh.
I think a couple weeks.
So yeah, that's like somebody's in a car accident, they get a whiplash, similar to that. That's awful. And then that also explains a little bit having neck instability later. Because those ligaments, even though they've healed up, they'll never be exactly like they were before that sort of accident. So passing out, common?
Yeah.
Do we know why?
A lot of times it's like brought on by seeing blood or needles or
Yeah.
talking about certain things that have to do with stuff like that.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, we call that having a vasovagal. It just means that her body stimulates her vagus nerve to bring her blood pressure down. It's kind of like shock. So you're so shocked by these blood and needles that you pass out. Now I want to make a connection here because this is very shocking for me to hear a 911 operator has vasovagal. So you're on the job, you haven't passed out, hearing these terrible calls come in?
No, the calls don't bother me. Sometimes it bothers me hearing things, I guess maybe from like loved ones or like family or friends talking about it.
Okay.
But over the phone, when people are saying, oh, I'm bleeding from my head, or so-and-so just happened and this is happening, I'm usually
You don't get
fine.
woozy?
No, I'm fine with
Oh my
911
gosh.
calls and like dispatching and stuff like that. But if it's like a family member and they're telling me about something that happened, or if I'm watching something happen.
So not on the job,
Yeah.
but like at home, someone's saying, hey, I had this operation.
Yeah, like,
Have you passed out from hearing? Like if we're talking about it now, is there any risk of passing out?
not right now.
Not right now, 'cause
Unless
you're
you start
cool.
talking about like, I don't know, how wisdom teeth get removed or something like that.
But like in real big detail, like going into the details of it, it's too much.
Yes.
All right, so it seems like this has become a delicate subject. Yeah, we would hate to have an incident. But that is wild, though. So is it super common for you to pass out, even now?
At the last time that it happened was in, I think, last fall,
Okay.
maybe. Like a couple months ago, my boyfriend got his wisdom teeth out.
And that?
I didn't even see the blood. I just knew that it was there, and I saw his face all puffed up with the cotton in it. And I was like trying to like prevent it from happening by walking outside. Then I walked outside and then I passed out.
No!
Yeah.
Was it soft outside?
I luckily sat down on the bench before it happened.
So you just slumped over?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then before that, it didn't happen until since 2019. I was a cheerleader at Penn State
Okay.
Hazleton, and one of the basketball players busted her chin open in front of me.
Oh, okay.
And so then I passed out. Like in front of
So
everybody. the whole
everyone's
basketball
passing
game.
out then. Someone busts the chin, she's out, you're out, and then everyone's out. Okay, so it sounds like it doesn't happen that often anymore.
No.
But is that because you're getting wiser to what you shouldn't be exposed to, or is it because you're maybe maturing and that's becoming less common?
I think it's just because I'm not as... I think it just depends maybe like on what I'm exposed to. I still don't know how to prevent it.
So you're just getting wiser about avoiding the things that make it happen.
Yeah, I try to avoid like going to hospitals or going to situations that I know might bring it on.
Oh, good
Or
point.
like
The
walking out of a
hospital.
room if somebody's having a conversation that I don't like.
Oh, see, so you're getting wiser. Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess that's fine. There's a lot of people who, you hear those stories about the guy watches his kid get born and he passes out. When I was job shadowing surgeons, there was this big, strong guy who was standing next to me, and he just fell backwards when they, did the surgery. I won't even say what type of surgery it is because I don't want to bring up stuff. But, no, that's crazy. Well, it's crazy as in like wild. It's not actually crazy. It is normal. It's unfortunate that you had to get a huge injury in 6th grade from that sort of thing, and it explains why you would have the neck issues you have now. Now, then there was a large gap after I treated her for that. Right, you were maintenance for a while, a couple months, and then you said, okay, I'll see you later, and then you did see me later. And it wasn't the neck anymore, it was the back.
Yes.
It was the back.
Yeah, I think it was
Okay.
between my shoulder blades.
Between
maybe.
the shoulder blades.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is another common spot for the ladies because of posture, right? If between your shoulder blades gets weak, your shoulder blades will hang off your spine. So you see how I'm putting pressure on my mid-back by doing that? And then if your shoulder blades are strong, you won't even notice that they're standing up nicely, right? And that's, of course, it's a nice posture for your mental health too, Superman pose and all that. But anyway, I don't think it's been that rough, this second wave of treatment, right?
No.
We basically got you right back into shape, and I think you're basically on maintenance now, pretty much, like once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And that's where I like people to be, because then there's, when trouble does come up, like it did now, you took that little break, it was so easy to fix.
Yeah.
So I always try to encourage my patients to get some sort of maintenance. It doesn't have to be every month. And for someone young like you're still young. How old are you now?
24.
Yeah, 24, still super young. So at 24, you probably don't need to see me a ton. Even with your history with the neck, maybe you'll need to see me once a month, maybe every other month. But for the average person with no major trauma At 24, you might be seeing me every 3 months. Maintenance doesn't have to be ridiculous. It doesn't have to be every other week or something like that. It should feel like getting a tune-up for your car or something like that, where you just have to make sure. My wife, she cleans the filter to our faucet in our sink so that the water pressure's good. She does that every month. It should feel like that, where it's something you just do. It's little, it's quick, and then it's done, and you're good for another month, or 2 or 3. Okay, in the next segment, we're going to show what treatment looks like for Breena. I think a lot of people who are in your demographic, right? So a young lady who maybe has a dainty neck, they don't want to get adjusted. They're afraid. You see movies, people get their neck cracked, and then they're dead. And it's like, oh my gosh, that's so dramatic. I don't want the chiropractor. And I joke around. I always say, nobody has ever had anything bad happen yet. But it really is. It's harmless. And I think it'll be nice to show those people on TV that adjusting Breena, who might be in whatever demographic, that you watching would be, or someone you know, they don't have to be afraid, right? We're here to help. We're not here to hurt. And all right, it's not so bad?
No.
I hope you usually feel pretty good by the time you leave.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, as long as your neck's not spasming. All right, so in the next segment, stay tuned. That'll be treatment. So that'll be the best part of the show. Come right back. We'll be doing that. Welcome back to Let's Talk Chiropractic. I'm Dr. Alex, your host, here with Breena. And we're going to show what an adjustment is like for Breena. So today, are you hurting in any particular way?
I'm not really hurting, but it's just tight in my shoulder blades.
Okay. We're going to stand here, go face down, hands on the pads. And she's at the point where I don't expect a lot of trouble with her. Because here the table goes down. This high-low table is our fancy equipment. It helps keep her hips in the standing position, which is very helpful. I don't have to pull on her knees like I would normally with a regular table. So at maintenance care, I don't expect a lot of trouble. Basically, what's going to be going on is the wear and tear of her just living her life. And with the kind of trauma she's had, there might be a little bit. Okay, we have a winner. So she's a little bit off, just a touch. I'm going to call that a 1/4 inch. I am just eyeballing it. But basically what I'm saying is it's not that far off. It's just a little bit. When I look down at it on this position, her feet are like this. Right leg short. When I pick it up, she pulls the switcheroo, right leg long. What that's telling me, and I can see more too up here, is this is rolled back in addition to being a little high. So this hip is high and rolled backwards. Now I can also tell by the width of her glutes, which is not something I usually tell you I'm looking for, because I don't want people to think I'm looking at them. This hip is turned inward. So if you can imagine, let me pull up my spine. Not my spine, this spine that happens to be mine. I'm putting it on top of you, okay? So this is your ilium, and it's turned inward. That's why this part, this half of her lower half, is wider. This one might be a little turned inward too. It's hard to tell because this one's turned that way. I'll fix that all with the same adjustment. The hip being twisted backwards, it being high on the right, and this one being wide. I'll do that all with the same adjustment. Okay, just like that. Not painful?
Nope.
That's the idea. I just have to give it a little turn this way. And now, as I expected, they're about even. Let's see if I did my job and got this level. This is the most important part of the lower body. The pelvis being even will help a million things. And yeah, looks super good. I've been working with her spine long enough that that's a nice thing. I got a relationship not just with her, but also with her anatomy. I understand her spine. I've put it together so many times that it's second nature to me now. Breathe in and out. Yeah, not bad. I'm not going to push on that. Breathe in and out. And I'm not going to be rough with her if I don't have to. So I feel her spine's not that bad up here. I'm not going to push hard. Little adjustment right there. We took care of these two things. That's all I've done for this back so far. Lie on your side facing me. I don't have to do this for everybody. This is kind of a more advanced move. I'll pull the knee up. Now for her, I've already set this hip into place, but you can imagine the joint being shaped sort of like this. It's got these huge ridges. The joint between her ilium and her tailbone. So I want it, now that it's in place, to just fall into I want it to be locked in there. Sometimes that makes a little noise. If I hear more than one noise, it's her low back, which I expect her low back to make a little noise. So, yep, a few noises. I heard one for the hip, maybe 2 or 3 for the low back. Flip sides. Okay. And it doesn't hurt at all. Usually this one feels pretty good. Same deal for this one. I have to push it differently because they were off in different ways. Now they're both sitting nicely. Lie on your back, face up. Yeah, it's all very smooth sailing. When I have somebody who's been here a lot of times, I understand what's going on with her, it's quick. She's in and out in like 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Unless we get to chatting about 911 funny things and all that, which I don't think we do too often. Yeah, you're not the chattiest patient I have, which is fine. To each their own. Yeah, the neck isn't perfect. And I think she's a little on guard for being on TV. I don't want to hurt her, so let's get her. I'm going to put her neck into position and see if it calms down. And honestly, I'm not going to adjust it if it doesn't. Thank you for tuning in. I do have a little announcement I'll make now, but it won't matter until October 1st. I will be starting my own clinic and leaving. My plan for patients who come to see me before October 1st, if we find someone new to bring in, I will train them, tell them all my secrets, introduce them to all my patients, whatever we got to do. I just want my patients, anyone who comes in to see us, to still have a chiropractor. Whether it's me or someone else or Dr. John, he's great. He can take the people that I'm no longer able to see because I'm too far away. I'm going to be in Wilkes-Barre. And we'll talk about it more as the day gets closer, but as for now, that's the update. Breena was great. She did a great show. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Let's Talk Chiropractic. Take care.